So there was this.
Welcome to tonight's City Council pre-study session for July 14th, 2025. I didn't see anybody have questions on any agenda items. Has that changed? And council reports. Councilor Zani?
I do not.
No.
Last week, I had someone reach out from the governor's office to ask if I'm interested in their air quality board. And so I today ended up going through an interview with them. And we'll see how it goes because they said they'd let me know in a month or so. They've got lots of other folks to interview, so I don't know. But it would be for the RAC, the Regional Air Quality Council. And so we'll see. So I'm just letting folks know that that's in the air. And then I attended with the mayor, the Butterfly Pavilion Insectable After Dark event, and that was really lovely. We got to meet the new director of the Butterfly Pavilion, and so I really look forward to working with him in the future. He seemed quite lovely. And then I attended the RMMA open house event as well. And that was interesting. I got to talk to a lot of the different stakeholders who are part of that study group, which they've got, residents from our city, but they've got residents from all the surrounding cities there. And so it was interesting chatting with the residents and learning their perspective. What I learned there is that they're in phase 1, right? So they just finished phase 1 of this 150 study. And so over the next year, we'll be coming the phase 2. And so they will be opening up to residents a lot of their input around phase 2, which is probably spring of next year. So unfortunately, I did not get any specific dates. More to come, obviously, but it just giving a general timeline for folks is that they're in progress. Right now, what they did over the last year was gather a lot of data, a lot of mapping out of the flight patterns that they've done in the past, and a lot of there's a lot of information on decibels and et cetera. There's a lot of information in there, and so now what's to come is the actual planning, and then from there in the spring they will ask folks for their input. So that's what I did then.
Councilor Dumont.
Last week we had a Front Range Passenger Rail Board planning meeting and a planning subcommittee meeting, and the discussion was about kind of the next steps for Front Range Passenger Rail. The board, along with RTD and CDOT, everybody had signed the IGA, and so joint services moving forward. But at the same time, Front Range Passenger Rail was looking at, okay, what do we, we're charged with doing this much larger extension of commuter rail. So the discussion centered on phasing, and just it's an initial conversation, and the goal is to determine the phasing of the rail line. It could be 2 phases, could be 3, could be 4, and then be able to solidify that and then continue to go out for a ballot measure. So that the phasing along with what the cost implications would look like are in discussion and analysis right now. And so that's just, that it's moving forward, and we are going to have an ask for the whole region for that rail line. So more and more to come.
We had vintage baseball on Saturday. Thanks to the city for helping us, Parks and Rec, and the community who came to have fun. We probably had over 200 people there. And then I always love it because in the backyard are the trapeze artists learning. So they're twirling around and making you sort of seasick as they're doing their thing, but that's fun. Walmart donated all of the food this year, so that was very kind. And Dennis came to the game and stayed long enough to watch us protest. And he had great fun with that. Met with the CEO at St. Anthony's, and they thank everyone for help with the things they have going on there. Economic development and community development has worked with them on permitting, so things just keep going like this for them. And she talked about, was it in October, they finally will be able to take a deep breath because they'll have enough beds for the people that they need. Right now, they just keep shuffling people around. Butterfly Pavilion on Saturday was fantastic. That was after baseball. They had their continuation Saturday and Sunday of their 30-year celebration. And then on Saturday at 1:30, we had the ribbon cutting for the chamber with them. And update on me, I did not make my 60 last week, so I am out of trial totally at the moment. The research team is looking at the trials that are out there, looking at, are there openings? If there aren't openings, when will there be openings? So it's totally out of my control. And people say, how am I? I'm fantastic. I am keeping busy. I have things to do. We have big things in the city going on, and we are going to just keep moving forward. And I can't change any of it, so I'm not losing sleep over it. So that's me. How about you?
Nothing to top that, Mayor. I do have a report, but I'll do it at the dais. Okay. So nothing here.
Okay. If that's it.
Councilor Ireland is online.
Councilor Ireland?
Hi. I just had questions about fencing. So we are getting these emails from Charles Margulis, and then we get an email from Elise. Are we being consistent about codes and fencing? Because it seems like some people are building fences and no one says anything to them, and others are asking for permits and they don't get to build a fence. So I would like to see some consistency in how we handle fencing in our city, and probably we need to talk about that.
We can have, Lindsay Kimball is here. She can probably provide some information on that.
Sure, you can have a seat if you want.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Councilor Allen, for the question. Lindsay Kimball, Community Services Director. Thank you. Staff has been working extensively with Mr. Margolis. I realize a lot of folks have been on those email chains, and we're working with him through the process. He is scheduled to present to the Planning Commission on September 9th, as is the process for anyone who would want to construct a fence that was not in conformance with the ODP that's there. He needs to do an amendment. So we've really been doing a lot of hand-holding and helping and explaining the process. So, you know, I would just say that I think staff is really going above and beyond to assist that particular customer. And regarding other fences, I'm sorry, I didn't catch which particular fence there was a question.
If you go from 112th and you go north on Westminster Boulevard,
Okay.
on the right-hand side, where we have 113th, you go on down and you will see the fences go like this, and then they go like this, and then they go like this, and then they go like this.
Okay.
Those are, some of them are way over 6 foot.
Thank you for the reminder on that. I did see that email, sent it to our code enforcement supervisor. Code enforcement will be out there to measure the fences and so forth, but absolutely everyone has to comply with our fencing regulations.
Okay, thank you. I know that at least she told someone in staff, she doesn't remember, like 9 months ago about this 8-foot fence. Now there's a 10-foot fence. So, and she was told she couldn't build a fence that high. So
That is correct, and I don't.
it's not fair to those who are complying.
Absolutely.
But,
Agree.
okay, thank you.
Yes.
Anything else? We'll see everybody inside at 7 o'clock.
Hey, Jody, I noticed on my drive down here,
Welcome to tonight's meeting of July 14th, 2025. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the Westminster City Council meeting of July 14th, 2025. We appreciate your attendance and would like to remind everyone that our meetings are governed by the rules of decorum, which are posted inside the chamber doors. These rules are in effect during all meetings, including breaks and transitions. To ensure a welcoming and respectful environment, we kindly ask everyone to adhere to the following expectations. No attendee shall disrupt the meeting. Threats and intimidation are strictly prohibited. Audible expressions of support or opposition for any speaker is not allowed. Signs and placards are prohibited inside the chamber. All attendees must remain seated in the designated seats and refrain from occupying aisles or blocking doorways. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding as we work together to maintain a productive and respectful meeting. If you are here to speak during public comment, please sign up in the lobby. Sign up closes at 7:15. If you are here to speak on one of the 3 public hearings, there was sign up for that also, and that goes to 7:15 also. And would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say that the city has experienced some sporadic issues with tonight's online agenda packet. The vendor has been encountering problems that affected Westminster and several other jurisdictions. We've been working closely with the vendor, and these problems have been escalated to their management team. Efforts are underway to develop a long-term, stable solution, and there has been a scanned PDF packet posted to the website. All the posting requirements for the meeting and the public hearings tonight have been satisfied.
Thank you. That brings us to roll call, please.
Councillor Carmelia.
Present.
Councillor DeMott.
Present.
Councillor Azadi.
Here.
Councillor Hott.
Present.
Mayor McNally.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela.
Here.
And Councillor Ireland.
Here.
Councillor DeMott?
I'd like to make a motion to allow Councillor Ireland to participate remotely.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Councillor Ireland to be remote tonight. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councillor DeMott?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the minutes of the June 23rd, 2025 City Council meeting as presented.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of June 23rd. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Attorney Frankel.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just ask council if they'd be willing to consider a second motion with regard to Councillor Ireland participating remotely this evening under the Westminster Municipal Code. In order to participate remotely in a quasi-judicial hearing, a 2/3 vote of council is required. So I'd just ask if council be willing to consider that motion, as we believe have 3 quasi-judicial hearings on tonight's agenda.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Do I have to make a motion for so moved?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to allow Councillor Ireland to be involved in the quasi-judicial hearings tonight. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tonight we have proclamations, and the first one that Councillor Azadi is going to do is a very special one, and I know a lot of you are here for our precious Elizabeth Ann Price, and I know Councillor Azadi always called her the mom of Westminster.
Can everyone,
Sorry.
can everyone who's here for Elizabeth come up front? Don't worry, you won't all get to speak. But I wanted to at least start here because I think this is what community is all about, and that's what Elizabeth was about. So if you know me, you may know I give a lot of speeches, but I don't like to write them down. I just kind of speak. Tonight I wrote down some words because if I didn't, I might cry up here, and I don't want to delay this any further than it needs to. A few weeks ago, I attended the memorial for Elizabeth, and I spoke with Larry, her son, and I said, this might be a great opportunity for a proclamation because she really was the mom of Westminster. And there were a few words in that service that really stuck with me that I wanted to just bring up here. The main thing was that she always did say that we should always do all things in love, with love, and because of love. And if you look up here, this is love, right? These are mostly historic Westminster residents who loved her as a mom. She was the city's mom, not just in that region, but across the entire city. They also said in that memorial service that the past has memories to share, to teach us. And I wanted to give just my thoughts, and then I'll let Larry and his daughter introduce themselves and give their words, and then we'll read the proclamation. But yeah, it's coming. So the past does have memories to teach us, and what Elizabeth meant to me was a lot. So I met her only 4 years ago. She gave me a full breakdown of the past. She told me about the urgent need for City Council to prioritize historic Westminster. She introduced me to the history behind the lack of trust between the people and the government, about the need to prioritize major investment in streets, in underground utilities, in ADA sidewalks, in lighting, in parks, in public safety, in transit, right? There's so many areas of that area of the city that needs prioritization from City Council. Elizabeth taught me about selfless love. She introduced me to so many people, not just up here, but throughout that area. When nobody knew who I was, she advocated for me when nobody knew who I was. I watched her be a mom to the entire community and the entire city. She had no ego. She loved wholly, purely, and selflessly. She taught me that the concept of community is bigger than the streets and the lights. It's about the people, the history, and the pride we all share in making it a place worth investing in. So with that mandate of priority and love, over the past 4 years since I've been on council, not just the 2021 council, but the 2023 council that we currently have now, we have made a big effort, and we have been able to invest $40 million in these past 4 years. But I know that's not enough. A lot of those dollars we won't see today, we won't see tomorrow, but it takes time to see that investment come to fruition. And there's a lot more investment that we need to make. And that was all Elizabeth, right? She loved the community so much that her lasting legacy will be the investments that this council and future councils will make in that area of the city. What I do know is that we will do all those things in love, with love, and because of love. And if you can introduce yourself, Larry, and your daughter.
I'm Larry Price. I'm the second of the youngest. There was 5 of us. My oldest brother, Terry's here. My youngest sister, Lisa's here. My brother, Gary, his wife is here. Grandkids. This is my daughter, Caitlin, my wife, cousins, friends. And many watching online. And many watching online, yep. So that's who I am. Yeah, the historic area of Westminster has been, we grew up in that area. Sorry. And we still have a connection. I don't live in that area anymore, but we still have a connection to it. I run the little train shop. My daughter has the little candle soap shop there. And when my mom was down there, she was still walking the street. She was still active. She'd go into the coffee shop. Patricia over here owns the coffee shop. She'd go in the coffee shop. Everybody knew who she was. She'd sit there for hours and hours. And if you wanted to come in there and learn the history of Westminster, she would tell you. And she did not have to pick up a book or anything. She had everything in her head. And so, yeah, she was really the mother of that area. And so, I'll let...
Hi, I'm Caitlin Price. I'm the granddaughter of Elizabeth Price. I also have the pleasure of being the granddaughter on the other side of my family of Bob Briggs. So I have a very extensive history in Westminster. But my grandma, she is one of the most amazing women that I've ever met. Very smart and caring. And I think a lot of that has to come from her years as a teacher. She spent most of her life as a teacher, and she loved teaching people to, about the history and how to love one another and just live life to the fullest.
Is there anyone else who would like to say something before we read the proclamation? Okay. Whereas Elizabeth Ann Price was born on October 3rd, 1927 in Reamsville, Kansas, and moved to Westminster in 1951 with her husband Garnet, where they built their home, raised 5 children, and invested deeply in the life of the city for over 7 decades. And whereas Elizabeth began her service to Westminster as an educator in District 50, teaching at Westminster High School, Hodgkins Junior High, and eventually Ranham High School, where she served as journalism advisor for the Ranham Roundup until her retirement in 1992, leaving behind generations of students who remember her guidance and care. And whereas Elizabeth was a cornerstone of Westminster's civic and cultural life, serving over 20 years with the Westminster Retired School Employees Association, more than 25 years on the Friends of the Westminster Public Library Board, and as an honorary member and historian of Zeta chapter of Delta Kappa Gamma. And whereas she received numerous recognitions, including the Light of Christ Award from the Denver Presbytery and Citizen of the Year from the Westminster Legacy Foundation, honoring her lifelong devotion to education, faith, and service. And whereas Elizabeth authored the 125-year history of Westminster Presbyterian Church and became a meticulous family historian, compiling extensive genealogies that connected relatives across generations and continents, a labor of love that enriched her community and kin. And whereas her warmth, intellect, and leadership continue to inspire those who knew her as a teacher, neighbor, church elder, civic volunteer, historian, and friend. Now, therefore, I, Nancy McNally, Mayor of the City of Westminster, and on behalf of the Westminster City Council, do hereby honor the life and legacy of Elizabeth Ann Price, who passed away on June 3rd, 2025, and urge all citizens to recognize her lasting impact on our city's character, memory, and future. Signed this July 14, 2025.
Counselor, can I get you and our 2 speakers to stay up here with me? All right, and then all other family, friends, and neighbors, have these guys filtered into the back there. Feel free to use the riser back there, that platform. We're going to do multiple rows. So if you're taller, please go to the back. And we're going to see if we can get everyone in this. It's a great problem to have, right? Yeah, feel free to filter in. If you're taller, please go ahead and scoot in and use the riser in the back. Put you and me in the front row. Okay, I'm the front row person too, don't worry. Right, guys. Once we're all settled in, make sure you can see me. That means the camera can see you too. I might actually, just if you have this, I might have you guys go inside here. Now my shoe is Alright. I'm going to position myself over here so make sure we get everybody in the shot. Alright, you guys can go ahead and turn toward me. Thank you, City staff. right, guys. Make sure you can see me. All right, everyone looking at me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Thank you, guys.
That'll be that side. Next, we have presentation of service pins and certificates of appreciation to employees celebrating 30 and 40 years tonight. Any of the family members and friends that are here when we call up the award recipients tonight, please come with them. And Mayor Pro Tem is the first one up.
Well, from one amazing public servant to 3 more. Let's see, Michael Wright. Where is your, oh, here we are. Do you want to join me up here? All right, I see you have a support system coming with you. Yeah. All right, Michael. Why don't you introduce who you have with you today?
This is my husband, Tracy, my son, Brandon, and my daughter, Brittany.
Whatever her name is.
Stage fright.
All right, so I had the honor of actually being able to work with Michael for many years, so I'm very happy to be able to read your contributions, and I'm just going to hand you the pin and, more importantly, your certificate there. All right, so Michael Wright first joined the Westminster family in 1985 as a civil engineer in the Department of Community Development, where she performed development review functions for approximately 1.5 years. Then she moved to California, where she obtained her professional engineer license. Michael moved back to Colorado in 1997 and was quickly rehired by the city as a senior civil engineer. In 2017, Michael was promoted to principal engineer for development engineering. Over the past 30 years of employment with the city, Michael has assisted hundreds of private developers and their contractors with the design and construction of such projects as the Orchard at Westminster, St. Anthony's North Hospital Campus, Trimble at Westmore, new buildings on the Ball campus, and Uplands. So a lot of major, huge projects. Thank you, Michael. Michael, a Colorado and Denver area native, enjoys spending time with her family, her husband, Tracy, daughter, Brittany, okay. Son, Brandon, son-in-law, Jono, dog, Reese, and granddog, Bronson. Michael likes to play golf, go bowling, take a few vacations, lose a few dollars at Black Hawk, and enjoys get-togethers with family and friends.
Let's have everyone shift this way, a little in front of this railing here. And can we do this a little bit more this way? Pick up first. Yep, there we go. Perfect. All right, and hold that out nice and proud. Perfect. All right, everyone look at me. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Sherry Sanchez.
Oh, okay. I'm Sherry Sanchez. And this is my husband, Ray Sanchez. Larry Dorr, who is our deputy city manager, and Jennifer Thomas, who works with me. She's our payroll supervisor. Ezekiel Vasquez, who's our chief financial officer. Mark Harrelson, our sales tax manager. And Chad Smith, who's a senior financial analyst for the Department of Finance. Thank you all for being here.
That's great. You are a role model to do this the way that we always love it when people come to say thanks to you, our special people. Thank you so much. Sherry Sanchez has been city's accounting manager since 2005. She earned her BS in accounting from Metropolitan State College in Denver, 1998, and was awarded the Certified Public Financial Officer designation from the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States of America, GFOA, in 2008. She began her employment with the city in 1995 as clerk typist in community development and transitioned to the finance department in 1997. In finance, she worked as an accounting technician and accountant before assuming her present position. Sherry served as president of the Colorado Government Finance Officers Association in 2013 and was awarded the association's Finance Officer of the Year award in 2014 for her many years of service on the board of directors and with the careers of and outreach, education, and conference committees. Through her years of service with the city, Sherry has served on many teams who were responsible for the conversation of the city's financial management system, development of the city's first grant administration policy, implementation of many governmental accounting standards, and continuous work towards the Certificate of Appreciation of Achievement of Excellence in Financial Reporting Award from the GFOA for the city's comprehensive annual finance report. And I know hours and hours and hours go into all of that. We do understand that. And hours. And months. Sherry and her husband Ray have been married for 42 years and have 4 grown children, 5 grandchildren, and 3 canine companions. Sherry and Ray enjoy walking and biking Westminster Park's open space and trail systems and very much enjoy traveling in the United States and abroad as often as possible. Sherry, thank you for all you've done.
This side, please.
Balance us out.
And then Sherry and Mary, can you guys shift over about 2 steps? Yeah, perfect. All right, everyone looking right here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
I have to say, our photographer was at the Vintage Baseball this weekend, and the other team had some openings, and one person was late, but we didn't know he was coming. So they had him put on their uniform, not ours, and he played against us, but we won. The Lightning Bolts won, but he had fun, and I even got some pictures of him instead of him always taking the pictures, so that was fun.
Thank you, Mary.
Eric Seisler. Oh, come on. Come on. Yay, she's coming. Yes. How are you tonight? And thanks for coming. You can introduce.
My wife, Raven, is right here with my mom, Fran. My current work group, Veronica, Viv, Matt, and Jean, who retired on us. We really don't like to talk about her very much, but she was kind enough to show up, so I guess we have to.
Thanks. Eric Seisler began working for the city in 1980. Sisler, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
In 1985 at the age of 16. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. As a library page. Since then, he has served as circulation clerk, driven the book bookmobile, provided courier service between libraries, and worked in technical services. As libraries became more reliant on computerized systems, Eric began to provide more support for the integrated library system as well as the library servers and network equipment. Eventually, his full-time job is now Library Network Specialist, which is part of the library's Automation Services Work Group, outlasting 2 library facilities, Kings Mill and the 76th Avenue Library. I remember the day that we passed the books down, yeah. Back in the day. As well as Bookmobile, Eric has helped with the implementation of 2 library facilities, College Hill and Irving Street, 3 library kiosks, and the Library to Go van. His technical skills have helped grow library services to include 24 servers, including the implementation of the first Linux server and the first virtual server in the city. Even after 40 years, he continues to innovate to provide great service to patrons and staff. When not working, Eric enjoys traveling in his new RV, tinkering with technology, and hanging out at home with the family, both the 2-legged and 4-legged variety. Congratulations. I want to know what your 2-leggeds are look like. What are you?
I have a French bulldog named Mira.
Oh, you have a Frenchie. Yes. Why didn't she come tonight?
All right, guys, let's all scooch together. Looking right here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Thank you so The public comment portion is an opportunity for the public to speak to the council. Each participant will have up to 3 minutes. The public comments is not intended to be a back and forth discussion. The city clerk has informed me that we had received 9 emails and 1 voicemail that was transcribed and attached to tonight's packet. City clerk, please call the first speaker.
The first speaker is Gary Bland.
Good evening.
Welcome.
I'm going to play a little joke on you today. I'm going by the names Seymour Butts today, just so you know. I want to make sure you remember this meeting, okay? Good evening, council.
Sir, could you pull up the mic so you...
Oh, this thing. Oh, and then the button too thing. Okay. Don't start that thing yet. Good evening, council. I regret not getting a chance at the 1,500 served questionnaires with Magellan, from Magellan. I've kind of indicated, I do a lot of research on the city. They're right about adding the fire department tax increase on the November ballot, okay? I'm fully aware of it. Because of it, and I see it, and I feel, noting the following numbers. We've got the courthouse, which is going to be $42 million. We've got the water treatment plant. Objectively, I think we're right around $200 million. Chamber of Commerce, we did a revitalize thing for downtown. That's about $300,000. The BARC, the Beer Center, $4.5 million. And from what I understand too, I do a lot of research. I think we spent like $900,000 since ownership on that building. I actually got to visit it. I enjoyed that property. That was fantastic. And that was shown, Okay, so Schoenberg Farms, I think we also spent about $2 million on that. And I know that they've been breaking into it lately, which is kind of sad to hear that. There's been destruction. I don't know what's going on in the city there. But beyond that, the ballot intent, from what I'm seeing, is that there's new firehouses, training, fire in the police center. We're going to need equipment, new trucks, and so on. Last, the increased height of the dam at Stanley Stanley Lake. I find out everything. I was out there, talked to some of the rangers and stuff. I don't know what that's going to cost, actually, raising that dam. That does concern me a little bit. That'll be a different item in the future. I attended a meeting with the Westminster residents the other day. It's clearly stated we need all the items above. I see this as no joke, that we are sure spending a lot of tax dollars to better serve the city. I have done research and read plenty of articles based on the Westminster spending lately. All the subject numbers as residents might have potential impacts on voting for open seats of council. And I hang out with Bill Christopher quite a bit. He's kind of like my mentor. I favor that gentleman. I think he was a great city manager, and I abide by him. And he also pressures me to keep going for the city. So hopefully I'm doing a good job here. Just want to keep you guys all in notice, in check, letting you know that I am here. I love the city of Westminster. I've been here 45 years. I got a couple more. I'm going to read this. This is a city vision. Westminster is a city of beautiful, safe, well-maintained neighborhoods and destinations with a vibrant, diverse economy, rich and resilient environment, and a strong sense of community and belonging. And I'm here just to let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Tom Lampo.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello to everyone. And hello to Westminster. I'm Tom Lampo, and I'm here to lift up Westminster to the Lord in prayer. So please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, we invite you here to Westminster to be our God. No one approaches your greatness. No one can match your compassion or your wisdom. Isaiah 49:15 says, "For the mountains may depart and the hills be removed, but my steadfast love shall not depart from you, and my covenant of peace shall not be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you." We can put our trust in those words and in you. Your love for us never ceases. Apart from you, the change we experience in our lives and in our society is constant. We might think we have it figured out, but it only lasts for a short while. But what you offer us is steadfast and true. We can always count on you. Time is moving quickly. Before we know it, November will be here and elections will again be upon us. Philippians 2:13 states, "For it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose." Holy Spirit, work in the lives of the people and touch those who will run in these elections. Prepare their hearts for the work in front of them. Guide their thoughts and their actions. Fulfill your good purpose in our city. Father, a lot of tragedy surrounds us. We have wildfires, gun deaths, floods in Texas and New Mexico, tropical storms, and recently as a society we lost 2 firefighters to a senseless act of violence. We lift up all those to you who have been affected by these tragedies and ask that you comfort and guidance be with them at this time. And here in Westminster, we lift up to you our first responders. They have very difficult jobs. In Isaiah 41:10 it says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Give our first responders your presence, strength, and support. In times of doubt and fear, assure them that you are with them wherever they go. You are our God, and we are your people. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Night.
Our next speaker is Jim Fenimore.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. Jody. I got a handout here that I'd thought about handing out, but I decided not to do it because all it's going to do is end up in the trash. I met with the staff today about the Barkentine bar, and to no satisfaction on my part. I'm still sticking to it, safety. Instead of spending $4.5 million on the bark which is a bar. Should be spending it on the fire station. That's going to save lives. Station 1's the busiest station in the city. There's no parking, not enough parking. Anybody brought a business plan or development plan to the city, it would not be accepted. Only reason it's being accepted is because you guys own the building. I can't believe that the city is allowing the building to be built and made into a bar, which is a huge liability. People get shot, stabbed, fights, fall over, get hurt. You own the building. The city's the one that's got the big money, so you're gonna be the number ones that get sued, and you're gonna be the ones that paying, not the business owner. The $130,000 that you're saying should be going towards the neighbors. The city made the damage for the Grange, so you ought to be fixing that without tying it to the bark. It's going to take over 25 years to get your money back with the lease. First lease is for free for the first year. Then after that, $1,700 a month. That's less than you pay for an apartment. Good business people, when they reach a point to where they're losing their shirts, they cut their loss and they're done with it. You guys ought to be taking and just giving the building away or selling it or something. Another thing is I've got 223-page appraisal that was given to you that says it's worth $0. I'll give you $100 cash right now for the building, for the property, and I'll do something with it that's not a bar, that's going into the community, and I'll take away your liability, and you don't have to spend the money on the building. You can spend the money on saving people's lives, like spending it on fire stations and expanding Station 1. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was our last speaker. That brings us to City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. I do have a brief report this evening. First, I'd like to thank our public speakers tonight for taking the time to be with us and share your thoughts and input and concerns. Greatly appreciated. Next slide, please. I have a few update slides tonight. First is our update for tomorrow night right here in this room, City Council chambers from 5:30 to 6:30. The city manager, me, and the mayor will be holding a 1-hour community update session. This is our monthly update, and this session will be on city action for historic Westminster. So the theme of the evening will be discussion of the things that the city is undertaking finally in historic Westminster, and it's a really great tie-in to tonight, and all of the guests honoring our valued community member. And so tomorrow night we will run through, we will have staff present. The mayor and I will host some questions and discussion afterwards. We'll talk about the rodeo market renovations, also adjacent improvements to the park, as well as the Grange. We'll talk about the municipal courthouse and provide updates from our Parks, Rec, and Library Director, Mr. Otzelberger, on England Park, as well as a number of other parks in the neighborhood that are getting overhauled and reinvested in, as well as the community space 73L at 73rd and Lowell. We'll have staff members present to provide updates on those key items. Next slide, please. Also tonight, new chapter begins at Schoenberg Farm this weekend. So the Berg, in honor of the name Schoenberg, the Schoenberg Food Hall will be opening soon in honor of the historic Schoenberg Farm. To commemorate the new name and the action at Schoenberg Farm, the Berg is hosting a family-friendly ice cream social, complete with Sunday bar from Bonnie Bray Ice Cream and puppy playtime from Lifeline Puppy Rescue. That will be on Sunday, July 20th from noon to 3 p.m. And that's right at Schoenberg Farm to celebrate the launch of the renovation of the Schoenberg Farm property. Next slide, please. Also, By way of update, there is a special town hall scheduled for Thursday, July 24th from 5 to 8 p.m. That's at the Westview Recreation Center at 108th Avenue. And the theme of that night will be consistent with the work we've been doing for the last month or more, paramedics and pavement, and this will be talking about our needs for our first responders in our fire department, as well as our needs for our neighborhood streets. It will begin with an open house from 5 to 6 p.m. That will include family-friendly educational activities, displays, heavy machinery for the kids who like to check out some of our heavy machinery, as well as we have a fire hose for kids event. Adults can participate. We'll also have food, refreshments, and the ever-popular Kona Ice truck will be there. And following that open house from 5 to 6 will be from 6 to 8 p.m. the actual town hall event, and that will include breakouts of small groups for discussion and some exercises to get our community input and engagement around these important areas. Next slide, please. On tonight's meeting agenda, it's a regular city council meeting. We had the two presentations this evening. On consent agenda items, there are 5. We have 3 public hearings this evening, the first of which will be a public hearing and consideration of our preliminary development plan amendment and an official development plan for Walnut Grove. The second public hearing and first reading of Councilor's Bill 21 is for the rezoning and consideration of the preliminary development plan and official development plan for the Pillar of Fire Equipment Barn. And then the third public hearing this evening is resolution number 9 regarding the First Amendment to Consolidated Service Plan for the Uplands Metropolitan Districts numbers 1 and 2. Also on the agenda tonight for second reading is Bill number 20, authorizing a supplemental appropriation of general fund carryover and a contract with WCG Construction for the adaptive reuse of the Rodeo Market building at 3915 West 73rd. Next slide, please. Some things happening this week. On Tuesday, tomorrow night, I already described the community update with the mayor and I. That's right here at 5:30 in this room. On Wednesday, July 16th, the special permit and license board meeting has been canceled, so no special permit and license board meeting. There is a meeting, the Mandalay Gardens project meeting at the American Legion Hall at 9959 Wadsworth Boulevard, and that runs from 5:30 to 7 p.m. On Friday this week, July 18th, is Movies in the Park. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Never thought I'd say that in public meeting, Mayor. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. This is a very popular community event, our Movies in the Park. So if you haven't checked one out, please drop by on Friday night. It's free, of course, and that's at Amherst Park at 13085 North Pico Street, and that starts at 7 o'clock. Next slide, please. Also this week on Saturday, July 19th, our fire department is holding another car seat clinic. If you've missed the last few, this is another one at fire station number 2. That's 9150 Lowell Boulevard, and you can drop by anytime from 8:30 to noon. Also on Saturday, July 19th, we have Kid Zone on the Plaza. This is another one of the events in the Downtown Summer Activation Series in partnership with the Downtown Westminster Business Association and the Chamber of Commerce, and that will run from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Central Plaza in downtown Westminster. Next slide, please. At our next meeting of City Council, it's a study session that's on Monday, July 21st at 6:30 p.m. We have one information-only item, and that's the establishment of the Local Noxious Weed Advisory Board, and then 3 presentations that evening: Employee 2025 State and Federal Legislation presentation, a presentation of the 2024 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, and Auditor's Report on the results of the 2024 Annual Financial Statement Audit. So that's our annual report. We will have the auditor presenting that that evening. And then we have a concept plan review for Uplands Filing 3, Parcel C1, which is PRO's multifamily development. Next slide, please. You can reach the city and contact us at any time using Access Westminster. That's westminsterco.gov/Access Westminster. And also that is available on the mobile app, or of course call City Hall 303-658-2400. Visit our new website, westminsterco.gov, or follow us on any one of our 4 social media accounts: Facebook, Instagram, X, or Nextdoor. That's all I have, Mayor.
Any questions? Any questions? Mayor Pro Tem?
Just a quick clarification. So for the town hall that we have, the 5 to 6 o'clock open house, for the 6 to 8 p.m. portion, will there be child care or some type of child activity?
Staff will advise me shortly on that. I do believe so, but let me get that confirmed and then I'll report shortly.
Okay, thanks.
That brings us to City Council comments. Councilor Carmelia?
Thank you. I'll just reiterate a couple of things I did mention earlier in my comments, but make sure that we have the audience here for it. For those who've been following closely about the Airport 150 study, on Thursday we had the open house for that study, and I just want folks to know that phase 1 is complete, which was gathering information from the community and stakeholders, and they have a lot of data at this point that they will be moving forward to build out phase 2, which is scheduled to end around the springtime of 2026, at which point they will really be wanting residents' input and community input. So there are no hard dates at this time, but just know that that is continuing, it is ongoing, and your input will be needed somewhere in the next 6 to 8 months. I also wanted to let folks know, I saw that we announced it on several different social media avenues, but just reiterating here, because this is very exciting and several of us have been pushing hard for it. About 3 days ago, we now have Via Mobility services again for those folks who need it. And so that's transportation and mobility for folks 60 years or older. And this is completely free. And so if you need to get a shuttle to get around the city to your medical appointments or to a shopping center, call 303-444-3043 to register. And we're just trying to do everything we can to increase services for seniors, and this is a step in the right direction by getting us back with Via. I also wanted to mention that right now we are celebrating 10 years of supporting our local students in partnering with A Precious Child. So if you have supplies for kids with either backpacks or school supplies, and there's a whole list you can find online for those supplies, we are taking them now until August 1st. And so there's, if you look online, either reach out to me or our city manager, and we can get you the spot to drop those off. Just want to put those announcements out there.
Anyone else? Councilor Ireland, do you have anything?
No, thank you.
Anyone else? That brings us to the consent agenda. Councilor Dumont.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the consent agenda items 8A through 8E.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda items 8A through 8E. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilor Carmelia?
Yes.
Councilor Dumont?
Yes.
Councilor Azadi?
Yes.
Councilor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Normella?
Yes.
And Councilor Ireland?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 7-0 vote.
Councilor Ireland, before we get into public hearings, I just want to verify you can hear us okay, so that you'll be able to vote at the end because you have heard everything?
I can hear you, but I can't see you, but
okay.
I'm watching you. I'm watching on my phone on YouTube, but I can hear you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, that brings us to our first public hearing, consideration of a preliminary development plan amendment and an official development plan for the Walnut Grove planned unit development. It is 7:48, and I will open the public hearing and welcome staff.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Councilors. John McConnell, Planning Manager, here tonight to provide you with a staff presentation on this agenda item. Next slide, please. The staff agenda memo has been created and tonight's public hearing has been properly noticed. The agenda memo is associated attachments to tonight's PowerPoint presentation, the public notices published in the Westminster window, the mailed notices, and the posted notices are hereby entered into the public record at this time. The notices of the public hearing were mailed to 754 property owners and tenants within 1,000 feet of the parcel under consideration tonight. 5 public notification signs were posted on the subject property, and the city has also posted the hearing date and time on its website. Next slide, please. The project site is located at 9000 West 108th Avenue, which is on the southwest corner of 108th Avenue and Wadsworth Parkway. It's indicated here on this slide in the color red. Next slide, please. This site plan is from sheet 6 of the official development plan. The proposed development includes 62 single-family attached paired homes with community amenity space and other associated site improvements and landscaping. The applicant has prepared the PDP and the ODP at the same time, and both are up for consideration tonight. Next slide, please. Section 11.514 of the Westminster Municipal Code contains 10 criteria that are to be considered when reviewing a PDP amendment. Staff finds that the PDP amendment generally meets these criteria as outlined in more detail in the agenda memo. Next slide, please. Section 11.515 of the Westminster Municipal Code contains 17 criteria that are to be considered when reviewing an ODP. Staff finds that the ODP generally meets these criteria as outlined in more detail in the agenda memo. Next slide, please. Staff recommends that City Council hold a public hearing and approve the PDP amendment and ODP. Next slide, please. Planning Commission voted in favor of recommendation for approval by a vote of 6-0 on May 27th, 2025. Next slide, please. Staff finds that the approval of the application would meet the city's strategic plan priority for access to opportunity, which is met by facilitating infill development within existing neighborhoods that provide additional diverse housing types within the city. That concludes the introductory presentation. I'll be here tonight if you have any questions for me. I also have with me a couple of staff members, Jacob Kaza, Principal Planner, and Reb Batzel, Planner in our office. And if we have a need to answer more technical questions, we have our staff here to help.
Perfect, thank you. And do we have an applicant presentation? Welcome.
Good evening. Oh, okay, gotcha. Alrighty, good evening, City Council. My name is Ben Jonk. I am a forward planner for Pulte Group, the applicant, developer, and home builder of this project. First of all, I'd like to thank city staff, especially Rebecca and John McConnell for that thorough staff report and that presentation. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you for the opportunity to present tonight. We're really excited about this project. In this presentation, we want to show you how our plan meets the Westminster design criteria, delivers missing middle housing in a form that's appropriate to this corridor, and a land plan that reflects extensive feedback from the surrounding community and the city. Next slide, please. So I'd like to go ahead and introduce our project team. We have Norris Design, who is our landscape architect and planner. We have HR Green, who's our civil engineer. We have Kimley Horn, who is our traffic engineer. And we have the Pochner Company, who is our land use and community outreach consultant, and they're all available for questions tonight. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about us, Pulte Group. Next slide, please. So Pulte Group is a residential home builder. We build all things residential, from entry-level housing to move-up housing, and even large and small active adult and retirement communities. So we do it all. All our homes are for sale homes. We do not do any build for rent housing. And to give you a little bit of context about our history in Colorado, we've been here since the 1960s. As you can see from this slide, we have communities on all corners of the Denver metro area. So we're very familiar with Colorado, and we're really proud to be officed locally here as well. So we have a group of about 50 locals who make all these projects possible. Part of our mission statement for every community that we build is we want to create a high quality and unique experience for our homeowners. And that's why we're really excited about this community. We've designed brand new houses with brand new floor plans and architecture that's going to be unique to this project. This is part of our goal to provide a unique experience for our homeowners and also to provide missing middle housing to a corridor that we've identified that could really use it. I hope to also convey tonight that we put a lot of thought into this site plan. We engaged the neighbors to our west and Ball Aerospace Campus to our north, as well as other adjacent communities, to make sure we built a site plan that not only is a unique experience to our homeowners, but fits the character of the surrounding community and is a benefit to all the relevant stakeholders. So as a part of our outreach too, we also retained the Pochner Company to help us with a lot of that community outreach and help advise us on land use. With that, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Marcus Pochner, and he'll be showing what we've been doing with our outreach program and talking about the land use of our project. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, councilors. Thanks very much for this opportunity. I must tell a brief story. Ben actually came for 6 months to this council to watch and learned how much you all valued neighborhood outreach. And then he reached out and said, even though this is a small infill project, we want to run this as if it was a very large project and meet with every adjacent neighbor. So we have made that a mission and really implemented that into this plan. Next slide, please. This shows a little bit, you all understand the context of this site. It's been talked about by John and actually by Councilor Carmelia. The airport is just to the north of this site. We're at 108th and Wadsworth. It's a very interesting site in that all four corners are different, right? It's kind of the corner of an envelope for the residential side, south of 108th, but then flex residential across Wadsworth, open space to the south, and very important airport and Ball Aerospace to the north. You can see the blow up of that site. Really, it is everything. The context has been set. We're really finishing it. It's been a long, overlooked, and challenging site, as the staff report said. Next slide. Just a little bit about our outreach. We do use a concentric outreach. We really focused here, and when Ben reached out on us, to really go back to the neighborhood. Starting in 2023, we've had 2 years of meetings. It's been very important to listen to the Lao Buddhist temple across the street, to the owner across the street. We met with their design community. We met with the HOA to the west. We have really tried to incorporate all that feedback. These 4 items are what we heard about. Make it feel just like our neighborhood character, buffer, absorb the traffic, help us with existing traffic, and really have an appropriate density and provide that missing middle. So we heard that feedback and we believe we've been successful in implementing it. Next slide. This shows that second guide that we always look at is the comprehensive plan. This is one of those remarkable sites. It's medium density residential, and it has been proposed for medium density residential for over 40 years, right? It is just a site for other reasons that hasn't developed. So we are completely consistent with that designation and really will bring that medium density residential to fruition. Next slide. This shows, folks, we had a lot of work to do when we came here for concept. That right-hand plan there shows that concept plan that we brought to you all, and it actually shows a lot of the comments that you all made and some of the problems that were there. The first thing in overriding was listen to the airport and the airport work group. We are actually exceeding the recommendations from them on the noise level and the window requirements and the full disclosures when people know this at sale and closing. So we're following all of those recommendations. We have worked really on the trail connections to find an alternative, working with the HOA and the wetlands to the south of us to find an appropriate trail connection. Looking at that, really finding community gathering spaces. You can see in that plan it had no open space really in the heart of that. We have created that. And then importantly, actually the city's been a remarkable partner in reducing that HOA cost burden on this site. It hasn't developed because of that reason. That's why we have public roadways, and the city has been incredibly creative on the solution for this. Next slide. I'll transition here to Leanne to walk through the slide and the plan parameters, but that really does set everything we've learned from all of the edges of the site, how we've planned it out. Leanne.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, members of our council. My name is Leanne Valier, and I'm with Norris Design, and I have the pleasure of walking you through all the details of this community. We're pleased to propose a community that will provide additional for sale opportunity to help fill that missing middle housing. As a reminder, this community proposes 62 single-family attached paired homes across 10.69 acres. And access to the neighborhood is off the north of 108th Avenue with an emergency vehicle access off Wadsworth. This infill neighborhood is bordered by arterial roadways on the north and the east, and existing single-family attached paired homes to the west, and then the Walnut Creek City open space to the south. The North Fork Walnut Creek drainage channel is located along our western edge of the property, and a small detention pond is located in the southwest corner of the community. All units have 2 covered parking spaces within garages, and additional 52 guest parking spaces have been provided throughout the community. We're asking for a handful of necessary exemptions. These exemptions include reduced setbacks, modified masonry requirements, landscape modifications, local street section modification, and a slight increase to street light spacing. And we're happy to go into more detail if there are questions. This proposed neighborhood is consistent with the existing single-family neighborhood to the west, the village at Walnut Grove. Next slide, please. With the proposed community, a portion of the land located at the southeast corner of the site is being dedicated to the city to be incorporated into the Walnut Creek City open space to satisfy a portion of the public land dedication. Private parks within this community exceed 6%, and 2 park spaces are proposed. The first park space is located in the northeast corner, shown on the map as number 1. And these amenities include a covered mail kiosk with 2 dedicated parking spaces, covered picnic tables, trash receptacles, pet pickup stations, seating areas, play equipment, fitness station, and open play lawn. This park also includes a bike repair station that's been located on the east edge of the park, closest to the bus stop, shown on the plan as number 4. This community proposes to improve the existing bus stop on Wadsworth, which currently only has a bench. The improvements proposed include a bus shelter, a new bench, and trash receptacle. As Mark has mentioned, there was concern during our concept plan review about the lack of a central gathering space. The site plan has been revised to organize community around a centrally located park space, as indicated on the plan with the number 2. This park includes a large shelter with picnic tables, trash receptacles, pet pickup stations, and open play lawn. Lastly, additional seating, trash receptacles, and pet pickup stations have been located around the southern edge of the site, providing additional opportunities for residents. The overall landscape plan provides large landscape buffers along 108th and Wadsworth and utilizes low water plant material and water-wise practice. Next slide, please. Several infrastructure and public improvements are being proposed with this neighborhood. In addition to the improvements to the bus stop, 108th Avenue, shown with number 1, is being restriped to accommodate necessary and safe turn movements in and out of the proposed neighborhood. Additionally, 108th Avenue improvements include new lanes at the Wadsworth intersection. These include an additional left turn lane for eastbound 108th Avenue travelers turning north onto Wadsworth, an additional eastbound through lane, and 108th is being expanded to the south to shift the deceleration lane for eastbound travelers on 108th turning south onto Wadsworth. These improvements will shorten wait times and improve the overall operation of 108th and Wadsworth intersection for both local and regional travelers. With the restriping along 108th, the bike lanes will end west of the neighborhood entrance, and bike travelers will be pulled up onto the 10-foot multi-use trail. This transition will be well marked with signage that states bike lanes end, bikes use sidewalk. This is standard practice approaching major intersections. The number 2 on the map is denoting improvements that will be made to the existing emergency vehicle access road that serves our neighbors to the west at the village at Walnut Grove. And lastly, the improvements to the North Fork Walnut Creek drainage channel are not necessary for our site plan, but will serve as a regional improvement that will provide the drainage capacity needed for future expansion to the Ball campus. The community is well connected to the surrounding area with 10-foot sidewalks along 108th and Wadsworth, allowing easy access to the bus stop. Additionally, 5-foot internal sidewalks increase the walkability of the neighborhood and create a walking loop for residents to utilize. Our site was limited, as mentioned, for these pedestrian connections due to the drainage channel and the wetlands and the open space to the south. Next slide, please. As Ben mentioned, all the proposed homes at this neighborhood have been developed specifically for this community. The new floor plans and architectural elevations here at Walnut Grove will become Pulte's flagship community for this new product. The community will include 4 unique floor plans, 3 distinct architectural elevations, all alley accessed with 2 car garages. The homes will have up to 3 bedrooms with private side yard patios ranging in size from 1,500 to 2,100 square feet finished, and an unfinished basement will be included. Each home will include a mix of materials, including masonry, and masonry has been thoughtfully placed to decrease where it is internal side elevations and not visible to the public, and increased on the front and side elevations that are visible. Sustainable features are very important to Pulte. Each home will have tankless water heaters, Energy Star appliances, solar and electric-ready infrastructure, and optional EV chargers in the garage. Another concern expressed during our concept plan hearing, or review, was centered around that potential airport noise. All homes have STC 28 rated noise reducing windows, which exceeds the recommended mitigation measures. Next, I'll pass it back to Marcus to touch on our approval criteria, and you can go to the next slide, please. Thank you.
Great. We'll finish up here. We believe we're in full compliance. The Planning Commission was very involved in this. We had a unanimous decision from them how important they thought it was that we mirror the existing residential context, but actually are allowing for the expansion of the Ball campus. It was really able to do that and working with city staff to accommodate that drainage channel. So we believe, and the staff memo was terrific in going through each of the criteria, that we are meeting all the requirements, and we would respectfully request your support for this project, and we look forward to any questions you have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
That brings us to public testimony, and we received 9 emails after the packet was posted. And do we have any speakers signed up?
We don't have any speakers signed up. I would like to mention a correction from earlier. There weren't 9 public comments. They were all 9 public hearings.
Right. I realized that when I read this. Sorry.
It was my error. I apologize. Thank you.
So no live speakers. So does council have any questions? Councilor Ireland, since I can't see you, I'll ask you first.
I just want to know what the price range will be on these units and what the square footage is.
Thank you for your question. So the price range will start at the low 600s and extend up to the mid 600s, just depending on the floor plan that you pick. The square footage for our homes will be between 1,500 and 2,100. Actually, I think, do you mind pulling back a couple slides? Oh, it's up here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotcha. Pull back one more. Oops.
I saw it.
I think it's, yeah, good. Yeah.
That is slide 11.
I have kind of a delay in seeing the slides because I'm on my YouTube to see you guys. There's a delay.
That's okay. Yeah, so can you see it now?
Not yet. I can only see you.
Oh, okay. Sure. So, yeah, like I said, it's 1,520 square feet to 2,134 square feet for our floor plans.
So are they 2 stories or 1 story with a basement?
Sure. So they're going to be 2 stories, and they're going to include an unfinished basement. And we have.
Is it the full basement? Are they full basements?
Yeah, they're going to be full basements. So they're not going to be just partials.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Before we continue, anyone in the back wanting to speak, please go outside the doors so we can all hear, and especially when we have a councilor online, it just becomes difficult. Any other questions? Councilor Carmelia.
Yes, I'd like to say the sizing looks great, square footage wise, and so I think that was great. I'm a big fan of the energy efficiency, and I appreciate the infrastructure upgrades, especially around the park bench, or the bench outside to the bus stop. So thank you for those items. And I, above, my number one priority is housing, and especially this missing middle housing. But I am very hesitant about this, seeing as it is right next to the airport, and so I just want us to have that discussion. I know that you have the windows on there. I did just get out of that open house study where I talked to some of the pilots and some of the folks who are stakeholders at the Centennial IGA roundtable. And, they said their number one job is going around and telling counselors not to build around airports. And so I just want to make sure that we're calling that out and having a full conversation around it. So, and this might be more for our city staff, did we take a look at the noise study maps, which I'm trying to squint at on my phone right now, the PDF overlays? Have we taken a look at those, and where is this geographically in comparison to those noise study maps?
What staff did was route it to the airport for their review and comment. And those comments materialized on the official development plan, and I'll try to find the page. It's 2 of 46 on the ODP, and that was the airport requirements that the airport asked to be incorporated into the plan set. I think Mr. Pochner spoke to doing some exceeding that a little bit, but he may want to speak to that a little bit more, but we did not incorporate anything more than the airport gave us for this development plan.
I'll just say I think that we should contact the folks doing that study and just get they just collected a whole year's worth of information. Let's use some of it. I would just contact them for more information too.
Yeah, we'd be happy to do that.
Yeah.
And just keeping in mind this development review concluded a few months ago, or it wasn't super recent, so
right.
It was probably before that result too.
Right. They do have information, I think, on the levels of decibels heard in certain areas, et cetera, and I think that's going to be relevant.
Great. Commissioner or Counselor, I would just say I certainly understand. We work in a lot of these areas and look at those noise contours constantly. As we said, this is one of those that has always been planned for residential. I know things change, right? Rocky Mountain Airport is different than 40 years, but in every iteration this has been shown. We not only worked with the airport as a referral agency, we also reached out to them and we're exceeding their noise ratio. I will say, as somebody who works all around Centennial Airport, that is the recommendation they make as well, right? Is improving the windows, the mitigation, and the sound, and the notice. And you all were very correct about that, so we've implemented all those things. So I will just say I think we're really trying to put in all of the precautions. We share that same thing. We think that disclosure is right. I think the challenge of this site, and we know the noise, the flight patterns are kind of moving away from this site, but it's so much more about disclosure and really allowing this to be that missing middle. So we think we found the right balance. Fully respect your opinion. We're very well aware of the work group. We've participated in that and followed it and made comments, and we'll stay involved in that process.
And does that disclosure you mentioned include when the houses are for sale?
It does. It does. It shows it, and I'm not at all being flippant about this is one of those sites that is right adjacent to it, right? But we thought it was so important. So we've actually discussed how we can show that in the for sale, in the listing of that site, in the contract itself, and make that disclosure. So we're going about that. We thought it was a great comment by all of you in concept, so we've implemented that into our plan as well.
That's great to hear. And then I don't think I saw it, but I'm thinking there just might be extra work needed around the landscaping, if there's any way to include noise mitigation in that as well, because what's going to happen is folks are going to move in and then they're going to sit on their porch and then they're going to get mad. And so here we are.
And I will say that site, and you have some terrific planners here and know this well, it is really an internal site the way we've designed it, right? The edges, the buffers, we've almost kind of pulled it internal to the site, somewhat for the airport, but more just because of the roadways, right, that are surrounded, right? And so I think we're matching a lot of that kind of cottage style development that's just to the west of us. We pulled it in there. So I think we're keenly aware of that. I think the way we've designed it, even our architectural features, we're really giving the gift to the street, but you live inside this project, right? More the masonry's on the edges, but we've really pulled it inside where those amenities are as well. So I hope we're being mindful of that. We'll continue to show that, of course, in all our disclosures.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Councilor Dumont?
Can you go to, I think it was slide 3, it was the first map. Nope, go that one. Stay right there. So this is a particular interest to me because you can literally see my house in this slide. So I'm not that concerned about the airport as long as you're disclosing it. I'll tell you, I knew I bought a house next to the airport. My house was built in 1978, and I don't get all those nice features that these folks will get that buy these homes. I will also say I was really glad to see that this is single family because initially there was a lot of interest from folks who are aging in the neighborhood, being that I grew up in the neighborhood. My folks included, in one of the properties one of the plans that didn't end up happening, which was active senior housing. So there was a lot of concern that there was going to be multifamily here. So I'm glad with this. The other thing, this is actually kind of funny. I don't know if you remember this. I was taking a long walk one night and I was on the phone with the mayor and I ran into where there was no sidewalk and it was dark and she urged me not to walk down that street, which I did. But I'm very glad to see the connection of the sidewalk. That is going to be a nice thing for the community. The other part that I really appreciate that I wanted to call out is the emergency exit, because I know in some of the other things that came forward, that was a big concern that a couple of us, I know particularly Mayor Pro Tem and I had addressed. So I really like the project for those reasons, and I think it's important that folks know because I've seen a lot of interest and concern about what is going to go in here, and I think it's like I said, I literally can see my house on here, so this is very consistent with our neighborhood and what a lot of folks were hoping to see, this kind of development. So I'm excited to see this move forward.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I too appreciate that the team seemed to have listened to council's comments as well with the concept plan, and then I know staff has been working hard to address the circulation, the interior gathering space. And I used to own a Pulte product years ago in Oakland, so I know it's a good product. Just had a question. I do appreciate Councilor Carmelia's questions too about the FAA comments. I'm wondering, I had two questions. One was around the FAA comments that we received. Was it from the FAA or was it from the airport?
I'm saying airport, so I'll say it at the mic. Yeah.
Okay, because I know when the FAA weighs in, they generally don't want to see residential in their flight area. So I'm just, do we not? Does the airport refer to them, or how does that work?
I really don't know how they communicate between the two parties. We do consult the Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport. And we ensured that the homes were outside of that airport critical zone, the runway protection zone, and outside of those areas that they delineate on their maps.
Okay. All right. I do appreciate that the homes will hopefully have good construction, because if you have the air, if it's not airtight, then some of those things with the windows and things don't actually do the job that they're supposed to do. Okay, and then I just had a more minute question regarding the masonry reduction and the need for that and how much that actually impacts the project.
I will let our planner probably answer that, but if we could go to slide 13, I believe, 12 or 13, we have a backup slide that just shows you what we were trying to accomplish Maybe it's one more. We're looking for the asterisk there. So this shows the balance. You know your requirement very well, 30% on all sides. What we did is average more than 30% across the entire house. And it showed how we tried to focus the masonry at all the street edges. So on those streets or those edges, those buildings, we really tried to give that gift to the street and not as much, Mayor Pro Tem, on between the houses on the brick. So it was really intentional because of the way this is kind of set back from the street, why we tried to design it that way.
Okay, I appreciate that.
You pretty much got it. The only thing I'll add is that really it's instead of 30% on every surface, it's more of a cumulative. And so those highly visible areas actually have more than 30%.
Okay, thank you for explaining that.
Okay. Anyone else? I just want to say thank you for listening to the concept review plan. That has really helped me as a counselor since we brought that into being, and hopefully it's been useful for you developers, because it's, instead of seeing something only this time and we haven't had no clue what was back here being discussed, at least we have some input at the beginning that you hear from, and then when it finally gets to us, we can see what was taken into account. So to me, you have met every one of our requests that we had made that night, and I too am a flight path of the airport. Just depends on how they're flying on any given day. So as far as sitting out, we would sit out on our patio, and many of you had phone calls with me, and I'll say, just wait a second, and you hear the plane fly over, but it's just a part of living in the neighborhood, and we go on about our business after it goes by. It isn't constant. It, as I said, depends on the wind and many other factors of which way they're going to take off and land and do their thing. The only thing that's consistent is when the fire planes go up, and that's when I ask everybody to put the fans outside to help it lift, because you're just not sure it's going to make it over that 12th story of the Westin. Councillor DeMont? Oh, did you have anything? Okay. Does staff have anything else? And does the applicant have anything else? Perfect. I will close the public hearing. It is 8:21. And is there a motion? Councillor DeMont.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the 8th Amendment Preliminary Development Plan for the Walnut Grove Plan Unit Development based on the findings that the Preliminary Development Plan generally complies with criteria in Section 11-5-14 of the Westminster Municipal Code.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 8th Amended Preliminary Development Plan for Walnut Grove. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councillor DeMont?
Yes.
Councillor Azadi?
Yes.
Councillor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela?
Yes.
Councillor Ireland?
Yes.
And Councillor Carmelia?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 7-0 vote.
Mayor Pro Tem, Councillor DeMont.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the official development plan for Walnut Grove Plan Unit Development based on the findings that the official development plan generally complies with criteria in Section 11-5-15 of the Westminster Municipal Code.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the official development plan for the Walnut Grove Planned Unit Development based on the finding of that the official development plan generally complies with the criteria in Section 11-5-15 of the Westminster Municipal Code. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councillor Azadi?
Yes.
Councillor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela?
Yes.
Councillor Ireland?
Yes.
Councillor Carmelia?
Yes.
And Councillor DeMont?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 7-0 vote.
Thank you all for your work. It is 8:23, and I will open the public hearing and first reading of Councilor's Bill Number 21 regarding rezoning for the Pillar of Fire Equipment Barn and consideration of the preliminary development plan and an official development plan for the Pillar of Fire Equipment Barn.
Thank you again. John McConnell here, Planning Manager, to provide you with staff's presentation. Thank you. Next slide, please. A staff agenda memo has been created and tonight's public hearing has been properly noticed. The agenda memo, its associated attachments, tonight's PowerPoint presentation, the public notices published in the Westminster window, the mailed notices and the posted notices are hereby entered into the public record at this time. The notices of the public hearing were mailed to 920 property owners and tenants within 1,000 feet of the parcel under consideration tonight. 6 public notification signs were posted on the subject property. The city has also posted the hearing date and time on its website. Next slide, please. The property is located northwest of the intersection of Federal Boulevard and West 82nd Avenue, shown here outlined in yellow. Next slide, please. The first application the applicant is processing is a rezoning from R1, that's residential 1, to planned unit development, or PUD. PUD zoning is required for any property over 2 acres in size that's seeking to rezone. As with any rezoning to PUD, it is required to be accompanied by a PDP, or preliminary development plan. And tonight's public hearing includes the rezoning, the PDP, and the official development plan for this project. Next slide, please. This site plan is from sheet 3 of the ODP. The plan shows the proposed lots. There are 2 of them, one larger and one smaller, that encompasses the site of the barn. The barn and the associated improvements are shown on the southeast corner of the property. Access to the barn is taken from Crown Point Drive. That's a private street, and it connects the barn to Irving Street, as you can see on the illustration. Next slide, please. Here are the color elevations of the proposed equipment barn. The barn is constructed with metal siding and traditional red and black colors that embrace the agricultural history of the site. The clear story windows will help provide natural light into the structure. Next slide, please. The Westminster Municipal Code, Section 11.5.14, contains 10 criteria that are to be considered when reviewing rezonings and PDPs, and staff finds that the PDP generally meets these criteria as outlined in more detail in the agenda memo. Next slide, please. Section 11.5.15 of the Westminster Municipal Code contains 17 criteria that are to be considered when reviewing ODPs. Staff finds that the official development plan generally meets these criteria as outlined in more detail in the agenda memo. Next slide, please. Staff recommends that City Council hold a public hearing and approve the rezoning, the PDP, and the ODP. Next slide. Planning Commission voted unanimously in favor of recommendation for approval by a vote of 6-0. Next slide, please. Staff finds that a recommendation of approval of these applications would support the city's strategic plan priorities of access to opportunity and economic vitality. These priorities are met by facilitating the maintenance of the Pillar of Fire institutional campus and allowing for private development in a compatible and harmonious manner within the adjacent context. The applicant's with us tonight, and they're ready to provide you with a presentation. Staff will be here if you have any questions for us.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello. My name is Becca Bailey. I am with Norris Design. The development team has been working on these 3 applications for the last 2+ years. Tonight we are presenting a rezoning application, preliminary development plan, and official development plan for the relocation of the Pillar of Fire equipment shed. The shed is essential for the maintenance and storage of farming equipment used throughout the Pillar of Fire property. Next slide, please. This 17.12 acre site is located west of Federal Boulevard, south of West 83rd Avenue, east of Irving Street, and north of West 82nd Avenue. The site is largely vacant apart from 3 existing homes, which are to remain as is. Next slide. This site is currently zoned as R1, single family medium density residential, which does not allow for the equipment shed. We are requesting a rezone for a planned unit development in coordination with city staff to allow for the intended indoor equipment storage. Next slide. The site plan is broken out into two areas. You have planning area 1 and planning area 2. As you can see from the image on the screen, planning area 2 encompasses most of the site, approximately 14.09 acres. Planning area 2 does not have any proposed changes included with these applications before you. Currently, existing institutional employee housing and agricultural accessory uses are the only uses permitted within planning area 2. The remaining 3.03 acres of the site includes the proposed location for the equipment shed. Planning area 1 land use will consist of indoor equipment storage only. Pillar Fire does own farmland equipment as well as maintenance equipment for their property, which is currently not being shielded from any outside elements. The division of Planning Area 1 and Planning Area 2 is intentional to clearly separate new construction from any existing uses. Next slide, please. Here you can see an illustrative version of the proposed site plan. Number 1 on this image is the proposed equipment barn or shed. We've been using that term a little bit intermittently, so please excuse any confusion there. Number 2 is the landscape screening, including trees to act as a visual buffer from the shed to the shed from Federal Boulevard. The applicant team has worked diligently with the City of Westminster staff to ensure all minimum landscaping requirements are met throughout the site. The trees are situated immediately east of a proposed berm to provide additional screening. Lastly, the location of the trees is approximately 10 feet higher than Federal Boulevard currently sits due to the natural grading of the site, providing even more of a buffer from Federal Boulevard. Additional landscaping is also shown along the southern edge to ensure adequate screening is also being provided from West 82nd Avenue, as well as west at the entrance of Crown Point Drive. Minimum photometric lighting is proposed to be located on the shed. This, along with landscape buffering, is intended to reduce and/or eliminate lighting pollution. Number 3 shows the proposed location of the on-site detention pond serving planning area 1. Lastly, number 4 shows the location of the existing CDOT easement for improvements to Federal Boulevard via state funding and separate from these applications. This CDOT easement is proposed to include improvements to Federal Boulevard as well as pedestrian improvements to the sidewalk. The pedestrian improvements from CDOT is proposed to be an 8-foot wide sidewalk along Federal Boulevard. Our team has worked closely with the City of Westminster Fire to ensure appropriate access is provided to this shed should it ever be required. Access to the shed will be via an extension of Crown Point Drive. The surface will be impervious and turning movements for fire apparatus have been reviewed and approved by Westminster City Fire. Next slide. Here's an illustrative view of the proposed equipment shed. The color and architectural style references historic barns in Westminster, as John already alluded to. The barn doors shown in this rendering are anticipated to face south towards West 82nd Avenue. Next slide. The site does not fall under traditional commercial uses, and as such, some modifications from Westminster City Code are required. Traditional development applications require public improvements to be made to the right-of-way and pedestrian connectivity. No public improvements are proposed along the frontage at this time because the site will not receive public visitors. Additionally, as previously mentioned, CDOT is already undertaking public improvements along Federal Boulevard, including sidewalks. Should any future development occur at this site, public improvement requirements should be addressed at that time. Thank you. Myself and the rest of the development team are available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Questions at this time? Thanks.
It's my favorite answer to have.
That brings us to public testimony. We did have one voicemail that was transcribed and attached to the record. Did we have anybody sign up?
We do. We have one speaker, Jim Fenimore.
Welcome.
Good evening again. I'd like to speak in favor of you guys taking and helping the Pillar Fire put their equipment barn in. Ever since they've sold the property, all the equipment's had to set outside. When the farm equipment sets outside, it's hard on it. It requires more maintenance and expenses to maintain it. They still are farming the existing property that's left up there putting up hay. So with that being said, the pluses are the building's a good looking design. It's planned well. It's going to get the machinery out of the weather. It's also going to be able to be inside where it's not being vandalized, so it's being protected, and then it's out of sight. The owners, I know, had the equipment set in the city limits at one time, and the city required with the zoning for them to move it over into the unincorporated Adams County part of their property. So with putting this shed up, it's going to help the city as far as getting the equipment out of sight. It's going to help the owner maintain his equipment and protect it. I feel like this is a good plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, any questions or comments from council? Anything else from our staff? Anything else from the applicant? Councilor Ireland, did you have anything?
No, thank you.
Roll call, please. Oh, wait, do we have a motion?
Jumping ahead.
Jumping ahead. Councilor Demott.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to pass Councilor Bill number 21 on first reading, amending the zoning of the subject property, a 17-acre parcel generally located at the northwest corner of West 82nd Avenue and Federal Boulevard. The parcel is currently zoned residential R1 to planned unit development.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass Councilor's Bill number 21. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please. Sorry.
I was just going to add, frankly, everything that was said in the public comment was something that my sentiments towards this project. I do appreciate staff working with the property owner and the property owner for actually, working to address the issue of having the outdoor storage and having a handsome building that is, sorry, only 4 hours of sleep, so my words, that is sensitive to the context of the site and to the city. And so I just appreciate this project, and that's why I'm in support of it.
Perfect. Roll call, please.
Councillor Hott.
Yes.
Mayor McNally.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela.
Yes.
Councillor Ireland.
Yes.
Councillor Carmelia.
Yes.
Councillor Demott.
Yes.
And Councillor Azadi.
Yes.
The motion passes on a 7-0 vote.
Councillor Demott.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the preliminary development plan, official development plan for the Pillar of Fire equipment barn based on the finding that the rezoning preliminary development plan and official development plan are generally supported by the criteria set forth in sections 11-5-14 and 11-5-15 of the Westminster Municipal Code.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the preliminary development plan and official development plan for Pillar of Fire equipment barn based on the finding and that the rezoning preliminary development plan and official development plan are generally supported by the criteria set forth. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Mayor McNally.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela.
Yes.
Councillor Ireland.
Yes.
Councillor Carmelia.
Yes.
Councillor Demott.
Yes.
Councillor Azadi.
Yes.
And Councillor Hott.
Yes.
The motion passes on a 7-0 vote.
That brings us to public hearing and resolution number 9 regarding approving the First Amendment to Consolidated Service Plan for Uplands Metropolitan Districts numbers 1 and 2. It is 8:37, and I will open the public hearing. And staff, do you have anything? Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. My name is Chad Smith. I'm a senior financial analyst here at the city. I'm here tonight to provide you a brief overview. On March 5th, the city received a service plan amendment application from the Uplands Metro Districts numbers 1 and 2. Upon consultation with the city's attorney office and our outside legal counsel, Butler Snow, we determined that the application is consistent with Title 32 and the review criteria set forth in the city's special district policy. As you may recall, on June 16th, Dalton Kelly of Butler Snow provided council an orientation on special improvement districts. Dalton is here tonight in case council has any general questions regarding special improvement districts or metropolitan special districts. At this time, I'll turn it over to Paula Williams with the applicant, and I'll be here if you have any questions.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members. My name is Paula Williams. I'm with McGeady, Becker, Cortez, and Williams. We serve as general counsel to the Uplands Metropolitan Districts numbers 1 and 2. I am going to actually run through the presentation relatively quickly, and we have members of our team, myself, John Colstow with Piper Sandler, the district's underwriter, and Matt Childers, who's a district board member and member of the development team, will be available for questions. And I know Mr. Kelly went through special improvement districts with the board, so I'm going to keep my presentation pretty high level. So what we're here asking for, next slide, please. What we're here asking for is a service plan amendment that would allow us to form special improvement districts within our boundaries. Next slide, please. As Mr. Kelly explained during his work session, a special improvement district isn't a separate district at all. It's really a geographical area within the boundaries of a special district that can be utilized for financing improvements that specifically benefit the properties within that area. And what it's used for is we can use tax-exempt financing to fund these improvements, which if they weren't capable of being funded that way, they would have to be funded through private sources at a much higher interest rate. Just of note, several jurisdictions in the Denver area have found this to be a very beneficial tool, and that includes Arvada, Parker, Douglas County, and Aurora. Next slide, please. So as Dalton had explained, it's not, again, a separate government. It is really a geographical area. It's governed by the Metro District, and it doesn't modify the structure of the Metro District at all. Next slide, please. How the financing works is specific improvements are identified that are within that area. A benefit study is done to analyze the benefit that each of the properties within that area receives, and then bonds are issued and assessments are put on lots. One of the recommendations that Mr. Kelly made to this board is that these assessments be cleared on each lot prior to the sale to a homeowner so that it never negatively impacts a homeowner. Our service plan amendment has incorporated that condition and that parameter and safeguard into it. So if the council approves our service plan amendment tonight, our service plan amendment would allow us to form a SID, but would require any assessment lien be paid prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. So it would never negatively impact the homeowners. Next slide, please. This slide just really talks about the Uplands community. I think you all are very aware that it is a large master plan community with significant improvement needs. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, the service plan amendment is relatively simple. It would give us the power to form special improvement districts, but again, with the guardrails that any assessment lien would have to be paid prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. Next slide, please. I'm going to skip this one, but I know the council may have questions regarding the improvements that we've paid for using tax-supported bonds and why we need this specific financing tool right now. And so Matt Childers will be able to answer some of the questions regarding the improvements that we've put in to date and the remaining improvements that we need to put in order to complete the development. I can say that since 2022, when the original service plans were approved, construction costs have skyrocketed, and we are in a much higher interest rate environment. So unfortunately, there was always going to be a portion of the public improvements that couldn't be paid for by the Metro District. Unfortunately, that delta has grown. And by approving the ability of the districts to issue special assessment bonds, really brings costs down for the entire development, which will be beneficial for future homeowners and taxpayers within the district boundaries. That is all I've got. There were a couple other slides in there, but again, we are more than happy to answer any questions council may have.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you for the presentation, and I appreciate that staff had already organized a helpful study session for us prior to this. One question I don't remember asking regarding the special improvement district is if so it's a lien on the lots. So how, if the Metro District or if the project becomes insolvent and the project's no longer moving forward, what happens to the special improvement district, the liens on the properties, and how does that play out with, transfer of the property ownership?
Yeah, sure. That's a really good question. The liens are foreclosable, but I would say that this risk factor is absolutely no different than if the private developer had to go out and get private financing. If the private developer went to a bank to get a construction loan, that construction lender would have a lien on all of those lots. And if the project went upside down, the construction lender would be foreclosing on those liens. So it's really no different. Here, the bondholders would have a lien on the lots, and if they're not paid as they need to be paid, they would be capable of being foreclosed upon.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? Councilor Carmelio?
For the benefit of us and listeners, would you please list out some of the public services and amenities this is supposed to cover?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we've issued tax-supported bonds, and those tax-supported bonds, which are payable from a mill levy on the entirety of the property, are going to support improvements that really benefit the community as a whole. So for example, water line extensions, sewer line extensions, major trunk infrastructure. For the special improvement district, we're really looking at localized improvements, and a benefit analysis will be done. So for example, internal roads that benefit just certain lots and phases, internal potentially landscape, open space, internal water lines, sewer lines, not the major trunk infrastructure.
Thank you.
Sure.
Councilor Ireland, did you have any questions?
Yes. Who buys the bonds? Who holds the bonds?
That's a great question, and I'm going to ask John Colstow with Piper Sandler, who's the underwriter, to come up and answer that.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me here. Who buys the bonds? These are typically, our typical bondholders are institutional investors, like we would call these large institutions that manage 401ks, big high net worth individuals that place money into large funds. So for example, we would say like BlackRock or a Nuveen or an Invesco. These are large institutions that intake trillions of dollars into funds that manage and place capital for individuals like us. I would say, yeah, I mean, that would be the most of our investor base would be those folks.
And what interest rates?
Yes,
are
I'm
they
sorry.
getting?
Thanks, Matt. And it's this, I'm glad Matt mentioned that. It's the same investors who actually also buy the limited tax general obligation bonds for metro districts.
What interest rate do they get on these bonds?
These are anywhere between 5 and 7%, so they're a little bit cheaper than the limited tax bonds because of this lien function here. So they are within maybe 100 basis points or 1% cheaper than the limited tax bonds.
And who's paying the lien? The property owner that's buying the lot in the house, or the builder?
Nope, the builder is responsible for the lien. If you heard Mrs. Williams or Miss Williams answer her or her presentation here, the lien never gets to the homeowner here. So the builder is ultimately responsible to clear the lien prior to that, prior to their certificate of occupancy at that point here. So the builder is responsible for the lien.
So how much does it add to the cost of the house? It's because someone's going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily add to the cost of the house. So this is the function of financing the development here. As Ms. Williams pointed out here, if this weren't funded through a mechanism like this, they would also have to be funded through a separate or private mechanism. So like a bank loan or private equity. So in this component here, it is actually as part of the cost of the home here. And so it is actually a cheaper form of capital as opposed to going out and getting this private financing, which is why this makes this so advantageous to actually go out and issue tax-exempt financing, because it does become cheaper than actually going to find the private financing sources.
And why is it tax exempt?
Because it funds the same public infrastructure that the limited tax general obligation bonds do. And so in this regard here, because it falls into the metro district, it does qualify as a tax exempt eligible expense. And so we are able to issue bonds that go and pay for those tax or eligible expenses.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Any other questions? Do you have something else?
I just wanted to say thank you very much to staff for all their help in this process. They were really wonderful to work with.
Thank you. Staff, you're done? You don't have anything else? And presenters are okay? All right, it is 8:50. I will close the public hearing, and do we have a motion? Oh, wait, yes, I'm sorry. I forgot the public speakers. Do we have anybody signed up?
We don't have anyone signed up.
Okay, no one signed up, so sorry about that. We will then ask if there's a motion. Councilor DeMott.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to adopt resolution number 9 approving the First Amendment to the Consolidated Service Plan for Uplands Metropolitan District numbers 1 and 2.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution number 9. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela.
Yes.
Councilor Ireland.
Since I'm against metro tax districts, I'm a no.
Okay. Councilor Carmelia.
Yes.
Councilor DeMott.
Yes.
Councilor Azadi.
Yes.
Councilor Hott.
Yes.
And Mayor McNally.
Yes.
The motion passes on a 6-1 vote.
Thank you. That brings us to old business and second reading of Councilor's Bill number 20. Councilor DeMott.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to pass Councilor Bill number 20 on second reading, appropriating a transfer of $1.2 million in the general fund carryover to the General Capital Improvement Fund for the Rodeo Market renovation project, contingent upon second reading of Councilor Bill number 20. Authorize the city manager to execute a contract amendment with WCG Construction, Inc.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass Councilor's Bill number 20. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilor Ireland.
No.
Councilor Carmelia.
Yes.
Councilor DeMott.
Yes.
Councilor Azadi.
Yes.
Councilor Hott.
Yes.
Mayor McNally.
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela.
Yes.
The motion passes on a 6-1 vote.
It is 8:52 and we are adjourned.
Mayor, could I just add to answer Mayor Pro Tem's question? Staff is still working on it, are not able to confirm tonight, but we suspect we'll be able to confirm the childcare for the July 24th. Yep.
Great question, Sam.
smart, so strategic.
See ya. Good night. Early night.